Sandia, Spanish for watermelon. Some say the name refers to the watermelon color the rocky face turns at sunset. Sandia Peak rises 10,000 plus feet above sea level. The rugged terrain provides many challenging trails. For Duke City denizens, the foothills offer a nearby location to explore the high desert. As a longtime hiker, the Sandia foothills have been where I work out, walk my dogs, and take a lot of pictures. Though I have hiked the many trails up in the foothills, my favorites are the Elena Gallegos open space and Embudo Canyon. Elena Gallegos is an open space that sits on the alluvial plain between Sandia Crest to the north and South Sandia Peak to the south. According to the historic marker on site, the open space is named after Doña Elena Gallegos, born in 1680 to Hispanic colonizers in what would become New Mexico. The family fled south when the Pueblo Revolt of 1680 broke out. Elena Gallegos returned to New Mexico in 1693 with her two brothers and an uncle. She married a Frenchman who was part of the ill-fated La Salle expedition. When he died in 1711, a certain Captain Diego Montoya handed this vast land to Elena that holds her name. The City of Albuquerque eventually bought the land to keep out development and offer it as an open space for citizens to enjoy. Access to Elena Gallegos is by taking tramway to Sims Park Road, which is just north of Academy. There is a fee to get into the park. The weekday fee is $1 per vehicle, $2 per vehicle on weekends, and $30 for an annual pass, which I use. Elena Gallegos is a 640-acre park and is at an approximate elevation of 6,500 feet. From here, the views are fantastic of the Rio Grande Valley from Albuquerque to the South Valley, the volcanoes on the West Mesa, and Mount Taylor in the distance. And you can see the Sandia Crest from just about anywhere in the park. The park supports piñon and juniper trees, as well as chamisa, whose yellow blooms arrive with the coming of fall. Other plants include Apache plume, cholla cactus, blue grama grass, yucca, and depending on precipitation, a variety of wildflowers in the spring. All sorts of wildlife inhabit the area too. They may not be easily seen, but you can sometimes catch the sight of a coyote or deer roaming around. And birds are numerous. I have seen plenty of lizards, and I've encountered several rattlers on the trails. And there are rabbits and squirrels. This one squirrel balances on the boughs of a piñon tree, surveilling the area. Bear, cougar, and bobcat also live here, but you are less likely to encounter one of them in the park during the daylight hours. Elena Gallegos also accommodates handicapped visitors with handicapped parking and paved trails. Restrooms are on the premises too. One of the handicapped trails is the Cottonwood Springs Trail. That ends at a blind. From the blind, you can see the pond created by the spring. Drought has all but dried up the spring. This video from several years ago shows how the spring once was. Drought has affected the high desert landscape, like this locust tree. This is video recorded several years ago. Its bright blossoms are no more. I have not seen leaves on it this year. But the landscape still remains a great place to hike. The trails are well maintained and are varied. A favorite trail is Trail 140, also known as the Pinot Trail. The beginning of the trail is part of a handicapped trail loop. Beyond the loop, the trail is hard-packed and fairly wide. The trail goes through pinon and juniper trees. In less than a mile, the Pinot Trail meets the U.S. Forest Service Sandia Mountain Wilderness of the Cibola National Forest. From here, the trail winds through the wilderness to the Crest Trail, about 4¼ miles away. I usually stay in the open space and truck onto Trail 341, which meanders through pinon, juniper, scrub oak, and chamisa. Just be aware that bicycles are allowed along this trail. I pick up the nature trail that runs along the Wildlife Reserve and the Cottonwood Spring. Continuing south leads me back to Trail 140, the Pinot Trail, and back to the parking lot. Elena Gallegos is a great place to hike with your dogs. They just need to be on a leash at all times. And remember, pick up after your pup.